Israel today deciding the fate of incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in unprecedented repeat parliamentary elections. He's locked in a tight contest with his rival Benny Gantz. Paula Sleer's got the latest from Jerusalem.
Well, 9 political parties are expected to be part of the next Israeli parliament, or the Israeli Knesset. And the competition here really boils down to 2 men: the incumbent Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his right-wing Likud party, and his former defense chief Benny Gantz and his more center-left blue and white party. Now, it was the same scenario 6 months ago when we had the previous elections, which Netanyahu won. But despite winning them, he was unable to form a majority, 61 mandates out of 120 parliament seats. Many suspect that the same scenario could unfold, and so regardless of whether it's Gantz or whether it's Netanyahu, we might have a scenario, and it's increasingly likely that neither is able to form a majority government.
Paula, so give me some more ideas then about what Benjamin Netanyahu has been doing to boost his support base of late.
Well, like any politician that's fighting for his political survival, Netanyahu has been making a lot of promises, the most recent of which is that he said should he be re-elected, he will annex West Bank settlements and the Jordan Valley. And for anyone who thought that the peace process between Israelis and Palestinians wasn't already dead, this certainly was the last nail in the coffin. He has also started negotiating a US-Israel defense treaty.
I had a call with Prime Minister Netanyahu to discuss the possibility of moving forward with a mutual defense treaty between the United States and Israel that would further anchor the tremendous alliance between our 2 countries.
Thank you, my dear friend President Trump. The Jewish state has never had a greater friend in the White House.
The American President Donald Trump has been playing an enormous role in the Israeli elections. Back in April, just before the previous elections, he made the bold statement that the Americans recognize the Israeli hold over the Golan Heights. And this is despite the fact that it contravenes international law and has remained a contentious issue ever since the heights were taken over by Israel from Syria back in 1967.
In a moment, I will sign a presidential proclamation recognizing Israel's sovereign right over the Golan Heights.
Netanyahu has been using Trump in his election campaign. You just need to drive down any street in this country and you see both leaders beaming from election posters on any of the main streets. In Israel, a political analyst earns on average around $180,000 salary a year. And yet the support that Netanyahu gets from Trump, which is so much bigger, is essentially priceless. Should this country head to a 3rd election, which is what many here suspect and fear, the question is just what else is Trump going to promise Netanyahu?
Bit of brief background here. The Israeli parliament was dissolved in April in a dispute over the growing influence of the ultra-Orthodox Jewish minority. The country's former defence and foreign minister, indeed, has refused to join Netanyahu's coalition now. Avigdor Lieberman's an outspoken opponent of the military draft privileges handed out to ultra-Orthodox community members. They can avoid compulsory army service if enrolled in religious studies. Further, Lieberman accuses the ultra-religious minority of seeking to impose Jewish religious law on the secular majority. They've already managed to impose bans on public transport on the Sabbath, strict marriage laws and gender segregation. We asked people in Tel Aviv how that affects their daily lives.
The ultra-Orthodox establishment have a very strong hold of the Israeli politics and Israeli government.
I think it affects our lives. That the Orthodox make their own rules and they want to make themselves different from the other people.
I don't think they're affecting too much, except from probably things like public transportation in Israel in Saturday.
I don't have buses on Saturday if I want to go to the beach.
The laws that they try to pass are not according to my opinions, but we should accept them as much as we accept other laws from other communities.
I truly believe in diversity, but still I think they should live their lives and we supposed to live our lives.